99 FM in Irvine, and this is Get the Funk Out. Standing by to join me is Maika Moulite and Maritza Moulite, and they're joining me to talk about their book, which is fantastic and receiving lots of praise. It's called One of the Good Ones. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Thank you for having us.
I saw you on the Seth Meyers show, and I'm like, okay, I love them.
Yay.
Yay. We were so nervous.
You really? I mean, your energy was fantastic. And which one of you, did you work on the Seth Meyers show? One of you?
I'm Maritza. I was an intern at NBC News and a news associate, which is like a fancier intern. So I was working at 30 Rock for a few years, so would see the Seth Meyers folks.
Right. I'd probably be a little nervous myself. I mean, but it was a great conversation.
Yes, it just totally flowed. It's so interesting because since Maritza used to work there, we were like, okay, this can go many different ways. Maritza was ready to say, like she knew all of the best places to cry in.
Aww.
So it was
wonderful places.
Oh no. Under so-and-so's desk, really in the closet.
Exactly.
What else would you like people to know without giving too much away about the book?
Well, one thing that we would like people to know without giving too much away is that One of the Good Ones is a thriller. It was important for us to include a twist to kind of have the reader consider what it means to be an ally, right? When they say that someone is one of the good ones, what does that mean? And when you elevate only a certain type of Black person, do you think that you're doing more benefit when really you're doing harm? So we hope that readers who go into it, especially if you're thinking about this as, oh, this is going to be this kind of story that focuses on the contemporary, that when you get to the twists, it might cause you to reconsider some things, right? Because, there are some folks who might be like, oh, well, the twist might make it feel, they might feel a way about the twist for whatever the reason. But I want people to really grapple with, like, why are you not okay with the twist? Or why are you okay with it, right? Because it means a lot, and it talks about allyship and who should be remembered and how and all of that. So I'll stop talking. So I'm like tiptoeing around.
That's okay.
I'm always scared. I'm always scared Maika's going to say something and I'll be like, no,
don't say that.
She'll tackle me through the computer.
Yeah. Something I would want readers to know is that doing research for One of the Good Ones was actually pretty fun sometimes. We learned really interesting facts about Black history that we had never learned about in school, about like Black cowboys and like an all Black tank battalion that was very consequential in World War II and was like in very major battles and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it was really cool. Maika learned about Stagecoach Mary. I know that's her favorite fun fact to talk about. And we were able to inject some of these interesting tidbits throughout the story. And since it's fiction, we were able to, kind of put a twist on it or make it our own thing too. But we hope that people read about what happens and then get inspired enough to do some more research on them.
I feel like this is a great book to interject the importance of history, changing the way history is written, because I mean, growing up, to me, history was very boring. And there's so much more to history, obviously. So many stories that have been left out.
Absolutely. And that's something that is really important to KUCI, right? And really what it shows us is that history 1000% repeats itself.
Right.
As you're going through One of the Good Ones, you're going to see the characters in the modern day in some of the very same situations that their family members were in the past. And it's astounding to see how much has not changed. And that was something that really stood out to us as we were going through this research process. And I think part of why we are doomed to repeat history is because we are not properly taught history. So, it then becomes this thing where, especially like writing a book like this, and as a Black author, you're kind of like, well, I have to include all the things that we didn't learn in school. But then also, you know, we have creative license as authors to change things the way that we want.
Right.
But, you know, it's really important for us that people see how much has changed, how much hasn't, and why it hasn't, and how even on an individual level, you still have power to make a change. And yeah, it's just, you know, going through this process, talking about the book, seeing things develop in our society these last few months, it's been a very surreal process. But I hope that, you know, one of the things that Maritza has mentioned before is that people don't just buy books like these, that they actually read them, right? Like, you know, the summer of racial injustice, as it's being coined, even though these conversations have been around for so long,
Sure.
people were like, oh yeah, I'm going to post my Black Square. I'm going to buy these books. But did you read them? You know, we need you to read them. Exactly. And then we need you to go a step further and apply the things that you're reading. And then make sure that you're continuously learning, because it's an ongoing process.
I call it becoming a better human.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
I really do. I did a segment late last year on this other show I do, and the theme was becoming better humans. What can we do, you know, to become better? Because we have so much to learn, you know.
And we can always be better.
Right? Well, do you find that you, I don't know how many, you're probably giving a lot of talks, a lot of Zoom talks, but I feel like you're inspiring young writers, young female Black writers. That's a powerful place to be.
Yeah.
We're so excited about having the opportunity to do that, to serve as an inspiration, because growing up, there were so few of us, you know. I am so happy that there is just this wider canon that's being created about what is literature and what is good. And yeah, I just hope that girls, boys, people who don't identify with either gender are able to like look at us and just see that anything is possible. Like if we are able to be on our second book and talk about something that is so passionate to us with very interesting people, that they see that that is also possible for them too, you know?
Yeah, I feel super strongly about that. Like I actually tweeted something about that like a few days ago, and saying how, you know, the first author that I ever saw in real life was a white man. And I was in high school, like sophomore, junior year. And it was totally mind-boggling to me, because he had attended our school. It's Brad Meltzer, by the way, but he's like a mentor of ours now. But he had gone through our school, and it just made me feel like, oh, wow, if somebody who walked through these, you know, walls could become a published author, then I can do it too. But I didn't, you know, see myself reflected in him physically, because he's a white man and I had hair at the time. But now, as you know, as a Black woman, I'm just like, I know that there are young Black people specifically who are listening to us, and who get to see us be our goofy selves, who get to see us talk about serious things, also injecting humor, because, you know, that's the life that we want. Like, that they see themselves reflected in that and think, you know, I don't have to be the literary author who talks about things like this. I could speak in my regular my regular tone, write about things that matter to me.
Yes.
And that there are people who like it. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to touch on the fact that, are you both getting your PhD right now?
Yes.
Yes.
What?
You hear the laughter. It's like to laugh to keep from crying.
You remember that the beginning of our conversation talking about how we want to avoid corporate work and life. Yes. But yeah, we just happen to be on the same time frame. I'm a first-year PhD student in education at the University of Pennsylvania, studying the best ways to enhance literacy practices in early learners.
Great.
And yes, Maika.
Yes. And I'm a PhD student at Howard University in their Communications, Culture, and Media Studies department. I'm really interested in representation in media. Of course, this is our our second semester of our first year. So who knows if the research interest will change, which apparently, you know, it can totally happen.
Yes.
But yeah, it's so nuts that we decided separately, like, yeah, we're going to apply, not telling the other. And we're like, oh, we got in. Oh, we're starting at the same time. Oh,
you didn't tell each other?
Yeah, it was kind of like it was just kind of like, well, I think I want to do this. And, you know, we had talked about it and we're just like, you know, are we going to do it? And then eventually we were like, oh crap, we're studying for the GRE. Oh, we're filling out these applications. Oh, we're begging people to write us letters of recommendation. And then it all just aligned at the same time.
Amazing. I mean, I could see you both teaching an amazing course, whether it's high school and college or whatever.
Maika's a TA now. I'm a TA too, but Maika's
are.
more of a TA type of person. She like teaches classes and she's awesome. Yes. Yeah. And we love learning. Yeah. It's an opportunity to just learn for some years. That's really cool.
You bet. Yeah. No, obviously you're teaching just online.
Yes. Yes. So I try to make it as engaging as possible. Like I tell my students, I'm like, I'm sorry, we're in COVID university right now, but we're just gonna make it work as best we can. So, but it's, you know, it's been difficult, and there are definitely, like last semester, I think my class is mostly freshmen, and last semester was a lot of freshmen, you know, their first semester in college, and they thought they were going to be off living this free life, and here they are at home with their parents walking across their Zooms. So I had to, like, you know, just one day I scheduled, I was like, let's just have a gripe session. Like, let's get things off your chest. Because I know that this is not happening anywhere else. And I know, because I'm a student, and some of my professors, I was just like, please help me, stop. So yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to be the professor that I wish that I had when I was an undergrad.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know, where can people find out more about you?
You can find out more about us at our website, maikaandmaritza.com.
Yes. And if you are interested in finding out more about One of the Good Ones, you can go to oneofthegoodonesbook.com.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.